Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Mandy. I'm actually doing a commission tumbler with you today. The customer requested a tumbler in Dallas Cowboys colors, and I wanted to do it kind of like a glitter peekaboo Milky Way type thing where you have a nice strong glitter base with a lot of different colors peeking through, including kind of a translucent white. And it kind of goes horribly wrong the first time. The colors I chose, the glitter is fine. There's 3 different kinds of holographic glitter. I let it dry, and then I'm putting on a clear coat. And then I use this Opulent Tanzanite color, which is a dark blue, and I tried to use a floating silver pigment. And I guess because of the dark blue and the silver, it just starts to look kind of like gray and dirty. So I sped this way up. I scraped it off and kind of used some alcohol on a cloth, hoping that I could get some of my glitter to show through again. And then I'm going to do another layer after this dries. So that's what this is. So initially all I'm doing, and this is a little bit fast, sorry about that, all I'm doing at this point is using the same colors but no silver. I still used a little bit too much white, and it wasn't as translucent as I hoped. And the blue color is a really pretty color, but I don't know what it was about it. As it would like become more transparent, it really masked my my background, and it just kind of made it look, I don't know if it was too stark of a blue, but you can see it's just it starts to kind of look gray again. So anyway, so this is after I think I let that layer dry, and I'm adding more clear, or no, it's not dry. I'm just adding more clear to try to break it up a little bit. Still trying to find a way to kind of get what I had in mind going. The interference blue is a nice touch. And the color is a beautiful color. I've used it on a geode and it's gorgeous. It's a very deep navy. I think the issue is it's just too dark. So it takes me a while to figure that out. I try to rescue it and try to preserve as much of my glitter base peeking through as I can. I even tried tilting my cup to get some of those like concentrated places at the top to tilt off. Anyway, it was challenging, but I was happy that some of my glitter was showing through. But before I finish this cup, you'll see that you can't really see it very much at all. So this is me again. I think this is the 3rd layer, and I'm trying to, I must still be working on the 2nd layer. So this is me trying to go in and find places where there isn't very much blue, where I can kind of add just a little bit, make sense of it. I'm going to use that interference blue because it's a nice pop of color without being a dark color. And I think I used some, what is that color called? It's not Milky Way. I'll remember when, it's not important, but it's like the finer version of Milky Way from Colourarte. So it's, again, I'll remember when, it doesn't matter, but it's sort of just like almost like a whitish glittery color. So you can see, even though I'm being kind of sparing with the blue, it just seems too harsh. So I'm going to speed this up now that I've kind of explained myself, but hang with me. I do think I end up rescuing this cup. I finally decide to go with a shade brighter, and I used 2 brighter blues. I was afraid for it to be too blue, but I used TLP Sapphire, which was kind of perfect, and I used Colourarte's Cobalt blue, which is like a resin tint, but it doesn't have any shimmer. So I used those, and I used a little bit more of the Just Resin Titanium White, and I used like almost none just to get kind of a transparent white. And then I added in some Shooting Star, which has kind of a chunky particulate. because I felt like I was losing so much of my glitter background with all the layers I was doing. But you will see what a difference it makes when I finally add those in. And I do kind of explain that somewhere along the way. But this is Interference Blue, which softens this quite a bit, I think. And that's why I kept kind of defaulting to it, because I was like, if nothing else, this Interference Blue kind of helps soften the harshness of the Opulent Tanzanite. But this is one of the wonders of resin. You know, it's going to do what it wants to do, but you can kind of keep layering it until you get what you want, sort of. But I told the person who requested it today, I was like, what I had in mind initially didn't quite materialize, and it required multiple layers. So you can see I just kind of keep messing with it. I think I'm adding a little bit of the white. Oh no, that's the shooting star. And you can kind of see I was afraid to go too straight across. I was also afraid to go too diagonal. So yeah, kind of wild. But at some point you can't overwork it because you'll lose all of your color. You know what I mean? So this is a close-up of this layer. It's better, but it's still not what I'm going for. So let's try again. Hey everyone, so before I speed this up, I wanted to explain my thought process. So this is a Cowboys themed tumbler. So it's for a girl, so that's why it's bedazzled. But where I'm struggling is because I used a really dark blue with that Meyspring color, which is a beautiful color. I feel like it's where it's separating, it makes it look a little dirty. And I think once it's good in resin, that's not going to be an issue. But you saw where I scraped it off because I didn't like the way that silver was making it look muddy. So now we've got kind of a more minimal look. So I'm going to apply another coat of resin because I have some pitting here, which is fine because I wanted my glitter to show because that glitter is just awesome. I obviously don't need silver because I've got the glitter, and I don't want to cover up the glitter. So where I'm struggling is I don't want to introduce a blue that's too blue and not a dark blue, but I just want to add a smidge of blue in the places where we have what looks kind of gray, which I know gray is in the Cowboys colors, kind of in the silver. So instead of reusing that Opulent Tanzanite or whatever that color is, I'm going to switch to this little Piggy Sapphire because it's still a nice deep blue, but it's a smidge bluer, a little less like black blue. So I think, and if I just add it very thin, I think we're going to get a nice pop of color. This is what I'm not sure about. This is a tint, and it's a Cobalt tint. And you can't really tell what color it is right there. And this is from Colourarte. So this won't have any sparkle in it, which is one of the reasons I might want to introduce it. But I might put a smidge of this in a tiny bit of resin just for some non-sparkly blue. And then I brought my Interference Blue back over here just in case. I also brought over some shooting star, which will look very kind of almost like a white glitter, even though it's not white. Just so we have some options. And if I need to introduce more white, I brought a pearl color. So I probably will not use anything close to all of those, but I came prepared. But I wanted you to know what I'm thinking as I'm messing with this so that it doesn't, because obviously I've already scraped the design off once. So my vision I had for this cup isn't quite materializing, but we'll get there. That's the beautiful thing about resin is you almost can't, there's not much that you can do that you can't fix. So long story short. So I'm going to speed the rest of the process up. I just wanted to explain it. Thanks. Okay, so this is the tint. So these tints need to be wet with 99% alcohol first. So that's what I did, and then I mixed it with resin. That doesn't apply to TLP or the other sparkly color. So now I'm just putting a clear coat on. And for the resin tints for Colourarte, the only reason for that is just to help break down the pigment a little bit. They're really beautiful. But Sapphire ends up working out perfectly. It's not too bright and it's not too dark. So now I know if somebody were to ask for this again, I would completely redo. I would skip that Tanzanite color. As pretty as it is, it just didn't work out for this. So now my plan, as I mentioned just a second ago, is to kind of follow where the lines are already going. We don't want to just add a bunch of busyness. We want to kind of follow where the lines are going, versus adding a whole bunch more color, because I want to maintain some glitter. Can't entirely control it because it's going to move as it spins, but you can see I'm adding just a little bit of blue. At first I was a little trepidatious about how much to put down, and I added the cobalt first, and you can kind of tell because you can see where the glitter peeks through it. But I wanted to incorporate both of them, so, and they're very similar in color, so it really kind of worked out to use the cobalt tint and the sapphire color. So already I'm liking it better. My only drawback is because of so many layers, I do feel like my glitter ends up getting covered up a lot. That, and at some point I actually tilt the cup up a little bit, because as you might be able to tell on the top of the lip, my resin was kind of pooling there, because no cup turner ever seems to be super level no matter what you do. It's like the cup pulls on it and all that. So I ended up sort of tilting off some of the extra resin, and it shifted too much of my color up. Some of that I didn't do on camera. So that last color was the sparkly white color. So here's a close-up. Not perfect yet, but much better than it was. Much less like dirty looking, but you can see where I shifted up. You can see where some of that color is going up, and it wasn't before. So sort of that crisscross, it made me lose some of my glitter. Anyway, I don't know why the lighting is so funky on this last part. So this is after that layer dried. I think my lens must have been dirty and I didn't realize it, so I'm sorry about that. But this is going to be our final layer, and you won't be able to see how pretty it is until I show you the close-up at the end, because my lens is dirty or something and it's causing this like grayscale looking thing. So all I did is I just took some more transparent white and some more of the blue, and I just kind of followed those lines again. I don't know if I used any more of that sparkly white, the shooting star. This is the Just Resin Titanium White, which is opaque. So if you're going to use an opaque white, you have to use just put your popsicle stick in it and scrape the stuff off, and then take the little tiny bit that's on your popsicle stick and put it in resin. That's how much you need to minimize the impact of your resin if you want it to be transparent. I really need a good mixing white for resin. Anyway, I wanted kind of the Milky Way effect, where you have, kind of the glittery background. You've got a little bit of color, and then you've got just some milky white, not bright white, just enough. I could have used alcohol ink, but I didn't want to. So anyway, I sped this up a lot, and I just kept kind of watching it to make sure I didn't over color it and use too much. And then I will show you a close-up after I decaled it. Obviously, I stopped filming and it kept moving a little bit. So I want you to see what that looks like. And that'll be up next. All right, so here's the finished result. You can see the color is a lot nicer. You can still see the glitter in the back, maybe not as much as I had hoped. Some nice holographic vinyl. But yeah, through a lot of toil, it turned out pretty, I think. So yeah, let me know what you think. I know this was not a raving success from the beginning, but I think the end result is really pretty, and I like the kind of the wave look. Yeah, thanks for watching.